And that's U-Turn. They will be back later on. Great to hear those guys doing that acoustic thing. I love it. So thanks a lot for that, Neil and Nick and Daniel and Daryl. It's great to hear you. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, we've got something going on here in the city of Corner Brook next weekend. First time, and there's a group of people who have gotten together to create this event for the West Coast, and Carson Smith was probably the main organizer behind this. Newfoundland's West Coast Con. They've got a science fiction convention happening right here in the city of Corner Brook next weekend. Carson,
hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, science fiction. What's the big draw? And I mean, I know these conventions have been happening since the 30s. I mean, people have been into this stuff in a really heavy way for years. What's the draw?
Well, I think it's like an opportunity just to escape reality.
Okay.
I mean, we all wonder what's in space sometimes. We don't know what's in space sometimes. But it's fun just to think that there could be something in space, you know, and it just brings out the kid in everybody, I think, more than anything. So,
and,
yeah.
I mean, when you talk about science fiction, I mean, there are so many movies and video games and comics, and
well,
I mean,
science
stuff goes
fiction,
on and on, right?
Science fiction is more than just why we were raised, like Star Wars and stuff. It's actually horror, fantasy, and it's just you know, just a ball of different things, and that's what makes it so much fun. Years ago, back when I was a kid, you like science fiction, you were like, oh, geek or anything. But now it's actually kind of a cool thing to be into, and everybody seems to be into something. You mightn't be into so much of the sci-fi as a Star Wars like I am, but you might be into a horror. Now, I'm not really into horror, but I'm into, but yet we could all form an alliance and,
okay,
you know, have fun.
The whole notion of conventions, I mean, there are so many now that happen in so many places around the world, almost every weekend. Like if you were into this seriously and you had all kinds of financial resources, you could literally spend a different weekend in a different convention somewhere else around the planet. Why did you want to start something here in Corner Brook?
Well, as a kid, I always wanted to go to one of these things, and we're isolated, and it's really hard to get out, and it's expensive. So when, you know, I've been thinking about this for years, kind of like, oh, I'd love to go to one, or I'd love to have one, or I'd love to see one, and I've been watching them on TV a lot. And then an opportunity came to me, and I jumped on it, and I said, well, there's no looking back. We're this far now, so. So
you got this team together, and the four of you
Great team. The four of us, we worked really hard. I mean, I know I did initiate this thing, but if I didn't have, you know, say everybody else,
right,
it would never have happened.
So the science fiction convention that's going to be happening here, it's a 2-day event, and you're building this as a family event with all kinds of activities. Tell me about some of the things that are going to be going on.
Well, there's going to be art shows like how to draw pictures, and it might be something as simple as, but I mean, there's going to be people there, artist-wise, that's going to teach you, or kids, or family, how to, you know, sketch, how to act. There's going to be writers. There's going to be showing you how to write properly, how to get your work out there, how to be recognized, because it is kind of hard when we're isolated, like I just said. So it's just going to be a fun, and there's going to be just a talent show on that Saturday night, and it's going to be more of an open mic, but there's also going to be the other N word. It's local. They're going to take over for us, so I'm very happy with that, and apparently I haven't seen anything they got planned yet, but they do assure me that's going to be really fun.
Excellent. Well, when you go to the website and you see the schedule there of all the things that are going on, you've got some really interesting names for things, and they're tied to some pretty famous movies, right? I mean, the talent show is the Cantina talent show, and of course that's the big Cantina from Star Wars.
Well,
right?
Being a big Star Wars fan, I've seen fitting to have that name,
right?
As like just a talent show, so. Pretty excited.
That's wonderful. Now, this is the first time around for something like this in Corner Brook, and you're bringing in a special guest. You're bringing in an actor who has been in Star Wars, all kinds of James Bond movies, Aliens, Superman, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's, I mean, those are some pretty high-profile films. Tell us about Paul Weston.
Well, Paul Weston, this was a risk, because our first one, no one really gets a main actor in for your first one, but we decided as a group we should do something different for our first one. So I went through an agency, and I did talk to 3 or 4 several famous people that was in like just Star Wars and stuff. And I seen him, and I said, you know something, I'd like to get this guy. There was something about him that seemed great. So I did end up contacting him, sending him out a contract, and he signed it. and he's going to come in.
Wonderful.
I'm very, very, very excited.
So he'll be around for the 2 days doing a question and answer period in the afternoon?
He'll be in. We're going to pick him up on Friday, and he's going to stay Saturday and Sunday and leave Monday morning. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Wonderful. Now, this is very family-oriented, you're saying,
Absolutely.
Carson.
Yes.
So, I mean, I guess you encourage not only people who, and parents who might be fans of science fiction to bring their kids along, but, I mean, if you've got some of the younger set, maybe
Yes.
they need to educate and bring their parents along,
Well,
right?
they do. And, you know, like, there's not much here for anybody, really. I mean, we are a small town, or a city, as some people like to call it. And I just felt like I have a little girl. She's 8, and Marley's her, you know what I mean? And like I want things for them to do.
Right.
And I didn't although people might say, well, horror, that's not very family oriented, but you got to remember it's a ball of things. So even though there's going to be a history of horror, there's going to be something else going on. So so I want it to appeal to everybody, and I want to motivate kids to do different things.
And kids have got a real fascination with monsters and things that go bump in the night anyway, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, this is the first time this has happened in Corner Brook, but I mean, here in the province, they've been having a sci-fi convention for several years now.
Yeah, this is
so
number
we've got
4.
one on the East Coast.
Sci-Fi on the Rack. I actually met them maybe 10 months ago, and we became instant friends. I didn't know anything about Sci-Fi on the Rack until then, and I did go to Sci-Fi on the Rack 3, and I got in with like one of the organizers, and he and I talked, and I mentioned my idea about bringing one here. Darren Han is his name, and he loved the ideas of cars, and you gotta try. So anyways, make a long story short, he's been there every time I was stumped on something. I knew I could talk to him,
Right.
and that really helped us a lot too. So I got to give them a lot of praise for that too.
All right. Well, it's happening next weekend at the
Absolutely.
Greenwood Inn.
Yes.
And I guess if people want some more information to see the schedule, they can just go to the
To the
website?
website, yes,
And get some
absolutely.
information there. All right, Carson, thanks for coming and sharing
nice
this
meeting
with
you.
us. I hope that things go
Thank you
really
very
well
much.
from you.
Thank you.
All right.
Right.
So if you are a fan of any kind of science fiction, make sure you go and support this very first sci-fi convention here for the city of Corner Brook, because of course they want this to be the first annual, and doing more than one depends on the success of the first event. www.nlwcc.com is the website, and it's taking place at the Greenwood Inn, October 24th, 25th, from 9 a.m. till midnight on Saturday and about 7 on Sunday. We'll be right back after this message.